In this video, I'm going to show you how to change your oil and change your oil filter on a RAV4. The oil filter is located under the engine. So with your hood open, you want to locate the oil filler cap, and it's right here on top of the valve cover. And I like to remove mine before I drain my oil. And then you can also see the manufacturer's oil grade, and it's 0W20. And I place it like that. And now I'm going to raise the vehicle and get to the oil filter and the drain plug. So now with the vehicle lifted, we can find the oil pan. It's located closer to the passenger wheel well, and there is the drain plug. It is a 14mm socket or wrench. We're going to turn that counterclockwise. I have my catch bucket ready to go. We're going to drain the oil, and then we'll move on to the filter. So the oil filter on this particular vehicle has a plastic oil filter housing, and it's a cartridge style. This is actually an aluminum piece that comes down by itself, so you can drain the housing. With a 3/8 drive extension or ratchet, I just counter turn. You shouldn't get much oil out right now, just a little residual. Set that aside. They include these little self-drainers in the actual filter kit. And what you do is you place it in and then pop it up in and lock it. And the oil will drain out. So now that the oil is finished draining out of that filter, you just pop that out and you can keep it or discard it. And now you're going to need a special socket. It's like a oil filter cap socket, and it's a hex. Fits right over that. And then you're going to turn it counterclockwise. And now you're going to retract this housing counterclockwise, spin it off. Make sure your catch basin's still there. There will be some residual oil. So now you can take the old cartridge out. You want to drain that a little bit, and while it's draining, remove that old O-ring. I like to use a little screwdriver. Just pop that off. And I'm going to let that sit and drain before I clean it. So now you want to take your new O-ring that comes with the filter, line it up to that heavy, thick groove right there, and then just bring it around. Roll it down till it goes into the groove, just like that. Confirm it's all the way around, all set. You take the new filter, line it up with the tube, and push that in. Now I'm going to put some clean oil on that O-ring and install it. So I want to talk about the drain plug gasket and how important it is to change that with every oil change. So this style is a carbon. It's like a hard plastic or gasket style. You see how that kind of bows upward and has the imprint. That can crack and leak, and you don't want to do that. So you always want to take your drain plug, make sure the threads are in good shape, and then replace it with a new drain plug gasket, just like that. Now we can install our drain plug. It's going to bottom it out by hand. 14mm socket and 30 foot-pounds. So I'm just going to take a clean rag. I'm just going to wipe down the residual old oil that's right here. I don't like to spray chemicals in there because if it just gets trapped in there, it's not worth it getting into the engine block. And we're going to take a finger of clean oil, and I'm going to just give it a light coat around that O-ring. Then we're just going to grab the filter housing, line it up, and thread it up by hand. You'll feel it starting to get snug, and that's that O-ring seating. That's very normal. So now we can get our oil filter wrench and continue. Right till it just bottoms out, and then we're going to torque it to the spec. So now I'm going to put the new O-ring in on that little drain. And if you're questioning the tightening, it's right here. It's 25 plus or negative 5 Newton meters. First, we're going to install the O-ring. Make sure it sits right in that housing. Then put the new housing on. Just going to bottom that out. Make sure that gasket stays in place. And it's 25 plus or negative Newton meters. So we're going to torque that right now. A little 3/8 drive right in that cover. Bring it right in. Now I'm going to put my oil filter wrench on and do the same. So this is 25 plus or negative Newton meters also. Now we're just going to clean up any residual oil that we have on either unit, the drain plug, pan, and the oil filter housing. And now we're clear to lower it and add the oil. So now that we've drained our oil and changed our filter, it's time to fill the oil, and you get a nice funnel. Snug it down. And now the manufacturer calls for 0W20 oil weight and 4.6 quarts. So we'll just add that 4.6. So now we're on our last 0.6. So I have full quarts in there, and it's a 0.6 to end it. I don't want to show that. So let's see where we're at. I like to find a level surface. So I'm halfway. All right, now I can remove my funnel and put my cover on. Make sure that's clean, there's not any dirt or debris. Snug it down. So now we're going to run the engine, start it up, let it run for like a minute or two, make sure the oil light goes out. If you have a gauge, watch the gauge go up in oil pressure. Then we're going to shut it off, let it sit for like 5 minutes, and we'll check the oil level. And the dipstick is right here in the front of this exhaust manifold with the yellow handle. So it's been about 5 minutes. So I'm going to come out here, take my dipstick out, I'm going to take a rag, and I'm going to clean it off, and then I'm going to go in and check my reading. So that is the fill dot. You want to be between that, right at that dot, or just a hair below it. And we're right at that dot, so we're good to go. So the first thing you want to do is take your ignition key, put it in, and turn the ignition on. Do not start it. Find your display, and you want to set up your trip A, not B, but A. So scroll till you see trip A. There it is. We'll turn the key in the off position. Now hold down the display button and then turn it back to the on position. And you'll see dashes, and it'll go right down to a 0 dash. And it goes flashes zeros. You are all set. Now you can turn your car off, start it up, and the oil light or maintenance light should be gone. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.